Imagine holding a coin in your hand that is not just a piece of metal, but a powerful reminder of the spirit of America and the legacy of one of its most controversial yet influential presidents, Andrew Jackson, the man who became the seventh president of the United States and whose life story was filled with hardship, battles, triumphs, controversies, and unshakable determination. Now picture that story immortalized on the first dollar. Andrew Jackson coin, a piece that captures history, art, politics, and economics all at once, and which continues to attract collectors, historians, and enthusiasts from around the world. This coin is not just money, it is a journey into the very roots of American history and the transformation of the nation in the 19th century. The Andrew Jackson first dollar coin was part of the Presidential Dollar Coin Program, which began in 2007 and ran through 2016, aiming to honor each of the American presidents by issuing a $1 coin bearing their likeness. Andrew Jackson was honored in this series in 2008, when the United States Mint released his coin to represent not only his presidency, but also his remarkable rise from a frontier orphan to a leader of a growing democratic nation. This coin was more than just a commemorative piece. It was a statement about the importance of understanding Jackson's role in American history and why his name still sparks debates today. The obverse of the coin features the portrait of Andrew Jackson with inscriptions of his name, the years of his presidency from 1829 to 1837, and the words, "In God We Trust." This design gave Americans a chance to see their seventh president in bold detail as the engravers captured his strong character and rugged personality. Jackson was known as Old Hickory, a nickname earned from his toughness in both war and politics, and that very toughness comes across in the facial details of the coin. The reverse, as with all presidential dollar coins, featured the iconic Statue of Liberty, a powerful symbol of freedom, hope, and unity. The edge of the coin carried incused lettering, a feature that included the year of minting the mint mark and the motto, E Pluribus Unum. Andrew Jackson himself was born in 1767 in the Waxhaws region along the border of North and South Carolina. He lost his father before he was born, and his mother later in his youth, leaving him an orphan at a young age. His early life was marked by hardship and struggle, but it was also a life that prepared him for resilience. He fought in the American Revolutionary War as a teenager, was captured by the British, and bore scars, both physical and emotional, from that conflict. His rise was not from privilege or wealth, but from grit, determination, and a fierce personality that often made him both loved and hated by his contemporaries. As a military leader, Jackson became a national hero after his victory at the Battle of New Orleans in 1815 during the War of 1812. This triumph against the British solidified his reputation as a fearless general and a defender of American sovereignty. When the Mint decided to feature him on a dollar coin, that military legacy was an important part of the story. It symbolized Jackson as not only a president, but also a man who stood as a bulwark of American independence. His presidency from 1829 to 1837 was one of the most transformative yet controversial periods in American politics. He expanded the power of the presidency, introduced what became known as Jacksonian democracy, which emphasized the rights of the common man against entrenched elites, and he reshaped the Democratic Party into a major force. His battles against the Bank of the United States, his implementation of the spoils system, and his strong stance on states' rights all became defining features of his administration. His most infamous policy, however, was the Indian Removal Act, which led to the forced displacement of Native American tribes on what became known as the Trail of Tears. This act has left an indelible stain on his legacy and remains a subject of heated debate among historians. When you hold the first dollar Andrew Jackson coin, you are holding a physical reminder of all these complexities of American history. The coin captures a man who was at once a hero, a fighter for democracy, a defender of the Union, but also a deeply flawed figure whose decisions brought suffering to thousands. The beauty of the coin is not only in its design, but in the way it forces us to reflect on the contradictions of history. Collectors find the Andrew Jackson dollar coin particularly appealing because of its place in the presidential dollar series and because it represents a president whose legacy is constantly reevaluated. The release of the coin in 2008 was met with interest from numismatists who understood its significance within the broader scope of United States coinage. The coin was minted at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and like other presidential dollars, it was issued in both circulation strike and collector-proof versions. The proofs were especially valued because of their mirror-like finish and sharper details which highlighted Jackson's portrait with exceptional clarity. Beyond its numismatic interest, the Andrew Jackson dollar coin represents a fascinating intersection of history, economics, and culture. It was introduced during a time when the United States Mint was trying to revive public interest in dollar coins, which historically had failed to gain widespread circulation despite various attempts, such as the Susan B. Anthony dollar and the Sacagawea dollar. The presidential dollar program sought to solve this by tying the coin directly to national pride and history. Yet, despite the rich designs and the educational value, most Americans continued to prefer paper currency, meaning that the Andrew Jackson dollar coin, like others in the series, became more of a collector's item than a daily use currency. To truly appreciate the Andrew Jackson coin, one must look at the artistry behind it. The portrait design was created by Joel Iskowitz and sculpted by Don Everhart, both highly respected artists of the United States Mint. Their work ensured that the coin was not only historically accurate, but also aesthetically striking. The sharp lines of Jackson's hair, the stern expression on his face, and the overall presence of the portrait capture the essence of the man, while the balance of inscriptions and details make the coin a timeless piece of American medallic art. Over the course of history, Jackson's image has appeared on other forms of United States currency, most notably the $20 bill, which continues to carry his portrait to this day. The dollar coin, however, adds another dimension to his numismatic legacy. It situates him within the continuum of American presidents, each honored with their own coin, and places him in the hands of collectors who study not just the coin's surface, but the deeper meaning behind it. For a 2-hour exploration, you can expand this history into Jackson's early years, his military career, his presidential policies and controversies, the economic and political climate of his era, the design process of the coin itself, the broader presidential dollar series, and the impact on the collector's market. You can also explore how coins like this become teaching tools for younger generations, offering them a tactile connection to history and sparking curiosity about America's past. So when you begin your journey into the first dollar Andrew Jackson coin, you are not just talking about a small golden piece of metal. You are unraveling the life of a man who shaped a nation. You are diving into the artistry of coinage. You are walking through the conflicts, victories, and mistakes that define democracy itself, and you are giving your audience a chance to hold history in their hands.